By listening to me speak for a few minutes, and I'll give you the opportunity to ask questions. And Kyle, I think it'd be appropriate that Bob gets the first question today when we open it up for questions. But so first, let me start with giving an update on what's going on our campus right now. I'm sure everybody's interested in COVID and the testing and some numbers. As of Monday, July the 6th, we had over 300 student athletes that were back on campus representing all of our 19 schools in some way, shape, or form. Last met with each of you, I shared with you what I called our confidence plan for our student athletes to return back on June the 8th, starting with the football and our fall sports. That plan included our testing protocols, our facility cleaning, how we're going to staff those facilities, etc. What I can tell you is I truly believe that plan has worked very, very well. I'm extremely proud of our medical staff, our student athletes, our support staff that includes our athletic trainers, our strength conditioning coaches, and each of our head coaches for really setting the tone. And again, for our student athletes for doing an incredible job making an adjustment as they return to campus. And to give you a little feel to date, we've had less than 10 student athletes and 2 staff members who have tested positive for COVID, with all those that were infected having returned to their workouts and/or work at this time. So again, less than 10 student athletes, 2 staff members, only 1 active case right now. So meaning that all those that did positive have returned either to their voluntary workouts or to their work environment. And based on a contact tracing from those positive tests, we currently have about 20 student athletes who are still in some phase 10-day quarantine period, but each of those student athletes has tested negative. So as we look forward to our fall sports, football, volleyball, soccer, and cross country officially beginning practice during the first week, our testing protocols will be enhanced, and that will include at that point in time some rapid response testing on a weekly basis for all participating student athletes in those fall sports. And you may have seen about an hour or so ago that the NCAA released kind of their third version of their medical guidelines and recommendations that included testing prior to at least 72 hours prior to competition, an institution, and as a conference to fall in line with those plans. And so that's the COVID kind of update. And I'll get through a few of these updates and then open it up for questions. So the outlook on on the upcoming football season. And what I can tell you, and I think probably what you've heard this week, is that we're going to continue to be patient as a conference before making any decisions. There's several options that are on the table right now. The first option still being the 12-game schedule that for us starts on November 5th versus Nevada, followed by a road game on September 12th at Notre Dame. We can't move on to the second option until we eliminate the first option. And that first option is still very much on the table, as are other options. The impact of the Pac-12 and Big Ten decisions have been minimal. Really only 2 games, Colorado at Texas A&M and Alabama and USC down in Dallas. So those decisions by those other Power 5 conferences those are the only 2 games we lost. And so as we sit here today, what I believe from my conversations with Commissioner...
Welcome in. It's the Friday edition of On the Hill with Pat Jenkins Sports Talk Radio, and it's the day of Commitment Day in the class of 22, as we got a really good show that we're about to get started on. The Hall guys, hey, they're ready to go. They had a day off. Everything looked good. nice oil job, Demetrius, brand new tires, and the bus driver's well rested, and he's ready to go. So our first guest made a commitment to Dave Van Horn and the Arkansas Razorback baseball team. He's in the 2022 class. The 7th-rated player in that class, Jason Jones out of Braswell, Texas. He'll be joining me momentarily to give us his reasons as to why he chose to be an Arkansas Razorback. And then, following Jason, we're going to have on another young man that chose to be a Razorback, this time in the R-Time 22 class for Coach Sam Pittman and that staff, J.J. Hollingsworth. He'll be on, the big fella from Greenland, Arkansas Greenland High School's the first 2022 kid, Demetrius. And, we've always talked about how special this 22 class has a chance to be. This could be the guy that gets this thing started. And lo and behold, one of the more less heralded, but could be one of the more heralded before his time is up here in Fayetteville.
Yeah, absolutely. I think if we're talking about the guy you showed me moving the car,
right?
Young Peyton Hillis, Peyton Willis, I should say. It's Hillis. Okay, I just wanted to make sure I didn't get him mixed up. Peyton Hillis, but nonetheless, I think he can be a big factor. Anytime you have a home state kid, he's going to recruit for the home team. He's going to make sure he can rally as many SEC-ready players as he can. I think he's going to be definitely the spokesman for the state of Arkansas as far as recruiting players to that 22 class from the state.
Well, it's time to get it going. Let's talk to some of those guys in that 22 class, and we're going to start in Braswell, Texas, with 2022 Arkansas commit and a 7th-ranked player in the baseball high school class, Jason Jones. He's up next. It's on the Hill, and it's our Friday edition on KDSJ 479. Let's get it.
It's incredibly important to us at the University of Arkansas, and I think my fellow SEC members would say the same thing. For us, it generates about $70 million of our approximately $124 million budget. Not to mention the economic impact that Razorback football has across Northwest Arkansas and across our state. So obviously, if we're not able to play football, challenging financial decisions as a director of athletics that I'm going to have to make. What I will tell you that the safety, the health, and well-being of our student athletes will always be first and foremost, and we will never compromise that. But if we can find a way to safely play football, soccer, volleyball, and cross country this fall, that is our number one goal. So I will stop right there, and we'll open it up. Bob, you got a question already?
Let her rip, Bob.
Okay, can you hear me okay?
Yeah, we'll do the same thing. Everybody,
okay.
We'll do 2 questions and then rotate so we can try to get through everybody, okay?
Governor Hutchinson announced today that he was going to have, a statewide mask mandate. I was wondering your reaction to that. And then the second part of that is the Georgia governor, I can't name, but he's basically repealing all the local mandates in his state about masks. Just wondering what your feelings are about those decisions.
Well, I fully support the governor. I fully support my good friend Doug McMillan and the staff at Walmart for the decision that they made. I fully support the Board of Trustees for our system and the decision that they made. It's a shame, in my opinion, that wearing a mask has to become a political decision. To me, it's just the right thing to do. What we've heard from medical personnel, and me and my family, we are active mask wearers, as are all of our staff members.
Welcome back to our Friday edition here on the Hill with Pat Jenkins Sports Talk Radio on KDSJ 479, as we're here each and every day, Monday through Friday from 1 to 2 p.m. And we're going to call this Friday Commitment Day, as we're going to talk to some very special young men that made a decision, not a 4-year decision, but a 40-year decision, their school of choice. And the first one that we're going to bring on is a guy that's highly recruited nationally in all of the high school baseball world. He's the number 7 player in the 2022 class. And guess what? He chose to be a Razorback for Coach Dave Van Horn. So let's bring him on all the way out of Braswell, Texas. Jason Jones, J Squared. Welcome to OTH.
Yes, sir. How are you?
Doing very, very good, Jason. Talk about your recruiting process. How that process came to, at the end, you deciding to be an Arkansas Razorback 2 years from now.
Yeah, so it kind of started whenever I was younger. Around I was about 14, and it was definitely an exciting moment. All of it was exciting. I had a lot of fun with it, and no pressure at all. It was a blast. So I was definitely happy about that, and it just all came down to, like, that's just where my heart wants me to go. I want to be a Razorback. I want to be playing at Vaughn Field. So, I mean, it's my heart chose, and I love the coaching staff there. I love the coaches. I mean, the stadium and facilities are amazing, and gosh, they have the best fans in the country. So why not? Let's do it.
How big was that, Jason? I know you had a chance last season to come down and attend maybe a baseball game or two, but from afar, Arkansas comes out with over almost 10,000 people for a scrimmage game.
Yeah.
From a perspective of a big-time baseball prospect, and you had so many options, Jason. How much did you look at that, and how big of a factor did that play in your decision?
It kind of did. I definitely wanted to be in that environment to where I mean, my heart's pumping all the time. There's a lot of fans around. It's crazy. It's awesome. I wouldn't necessarily say that was a big factor in it, but it definitely played a part in it.
Arkansas is putting together quite the class in 2022. You only enhanced that class with your commitment. Talk about, are you familiar with some of the guys in the 2022 class, and how much of a factor will you play in getting even more talent to come along with you guys?
Yeah. So I know another commit who just committed about a couple days before I did, and we went to the USA National Team Development, the 16U together, and he's a great arm. I love that kid. He's awesome. And then I have a couple of my friends that I definitely want to push towards getting a Razorback. So we're there. I know one of my friends is probably going to make a decision soon, so he better become a Razorback.
Living there in the state of Texas, was it ever at any point, Jason, in-state pressure to hang around? And Texas Tech is a school that's on the rise here over the last few years, as has TCU, Texas A&M. Did you feel any pressure to stay in state?
Not really, no. There wasn't really any pressure. I mean, I definitely have a lot of family in Texas, but they support me no matter what. No matter where I was going to go, they were going to be the first people there. So I definitely had to I didn't really. It wasn't really that big of a deal to me. So they're all in the hall too, 100%.
I show up there at Braswell baseball stadium, and I got popcorn, soda pop. Hey, it's time to play 9 good innings. When that ball game is over with, what type of baseball player will I say I had a chance to witness in Jason Jones?
Sir, can you please repeat that? Kind of
what type of baseball player will I see for 9 innings in Jason Jones if I show up there at Braswell High School?
I mean, yeah, I'm a grinder. I mean, I'm also a heartfelt guy to where I will always be smiling, always be cutting up and laughing, and also getting down to business to where it is serious for me, very serious. But I mean, of course, it's a fun game. So I'll definitely be laughing, cutting up, but also getting down to business, getting down to work, and winning some ball games.
Who are those baseball players, either collegiately or at the major league level, Jay, that you like to pay attention to?
I mean, I have a lot of people who I kind of look up to, and a big one is whenever I was very, very little, is Derek Jeter. I mean, I was watching him whenever I was
Jeter in you, I can tell that.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I mean, that was always a big idol of mine whenever I was little, and I just grew up, always watched him, always loved the way that he carried himself on the field, on the field. So, yeah, that's a big inspiration guy for me.
Looking at you, Jason, and you have a chance to play on a lot of USA teams. Those guys, when they come out their senior year, have a lot of big-time decisions, so to speak, to make at a young age. With that being said, what I'm getting at is 2 years from now, there's going to be a big decision that you're going to have to make with the baseball draft. And Arkansas had a young man out of the Houston area, Mason Wynn, committed to Arkansas 2 years ago and went through the same process. As a result, was taken in the second round. You know, where are you at with that? Have you thought about that, or is it just still yet too young in your baseball career to kind of worry about all that? And you'll just deal with it when it comes.
Right. Yeah, that's a great question, and I really haven't been giving that much thought to it. I mean, it is far away, and I'm just kind of focusing on getting better every single day, having fun, and winning with my team. So I haven't really put that much thought into it. Coming more towards down the time, I'll probably give more thought about it. But right now, I haven't really been thinking that much about it.
Talking with Jason Jones of Braswell, Texas, Braswell High School. He's a 2022 shortstop commit for the University of Arkansas, rated the number 7 player in the 2022 class. Now, you and I, we're riding around the city. Big Jason.
Yes, sir.
And you. The OGs in the car.
Yes, sir.
First 5 songs on the playlist. Shoot them to me.
What'd you say, sir? It's kind of cutting up again.
First 5 songs on the playlist. Me and you riding around Braswell. What are they?
Oh, gosh. I like me some country music a little bit.
Ain't nothing wrong with that.
So, hey, yeah, ain't nothing wrong with that. I like me some country music, like me some Morgan Wallen. So probably put a couple songs there, and I mean, I also do have my rap music that I like too, but I also really like some R&B music too.
See, I'm with
it kind of relaxes me, and I mean, like back then where it was like Boys to Men, kind of like a Mariah Carey. Hey, I'll tell you,
Man, you got to like Mariah Carey because she's so beautiful. Just to look at her, you have to like her. I mean, that's almost a no-brainer.
Definitely.
Well,
definitely.
My next question, Jason, is every athlete they have their pregame things that they like to go through. What's your pregame ritual that you like to go through, Jason, before ball games?
I kind of am very superstitious. We're really not that much, but I kind of have my routine. Like coming up to the game, I would kind of drink the same drinks, like a Pedialyte or maybe an energy drink before the game to kind of keep that routine kind of going.
I like that.
To where, yeah, and then whenever I step up to the plate, I kind of have a routine whenever I swing with the bat weight on it. Like some days I'll take 3 or 4 cuts with the bat weight, and I was like, you know what, that feels good, and I'll have a good day. But some days it could be maybe 2.
I like that.
So I kind of have. Right. So I kind of play with myself a little bit about that kind of thing, to where, I mean, I'm kind of not really very superstitious, but I am kind of a superstitious person.
Hey, us athletes, we got to get an edge somehow. So if it feels good, you got to stick with it. If it's not broke, never fix it. You know, that's what athletes.
Right.
That's our thought. Well, Jason, I want to thank you for taking time out here with us on the Hill Sports Talk, and I'm going to make a statement, and if you would, just finish it for me. When baseball is done with, for Jason Jones of Braswell, Texas, Braswell High School, he's played at the collegiate level. If he doesn't go pro, but if he does, he goes on and he plays Major League Baseball. But that day is going to come where it's time to put the cleats up, the bat in the rack, and the glove in the locker. What's life going to be like after baseball for Jason Jones of Braswell, Texas, Braswell High School?
I mean, I really like to get into some charity work and help out with little kids. That's a big part of mine, a big deal to me. And I love fishing too. I really like fishing. So that could be another area that I might get into.
Hey, Jason, they got great fishing holes around Northwest Arkansas.
Definitely. I drove through some nice spots coming back from Fayetteville to Texas that looked like really nice spots. So.
Just ready to get that line with, huh?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
All right. Well, hey, my man, congratulations. Hey, anytime. Our line is your line. Our show is your show. Please call us during the baseball season so we can get some J Squared updates. You down with that, my man?
Yes, sir. Thank you so much for having me.
All right, Jace. Hey, thank you for taking time out here on OTH, and have a blessed weekend. And tell your mom I said thanks for letting me get a piece of the journey.
Yes, sir. Definitely. You take care, and thank you so much.
That was Jason Jones. He's the 7th-rated player in his class nationally, Demetrius, and just another testament for just the cherry picking. I call it cherry picking for baseball, because when you're at Dave Van Horn's at the top, and you've been putting out the teams and programs, and your fan base shows up and shows out like they do each and every year, each and every weekend series, you do get the cherry picking. He's no different. This is a special player, the number one player in the state, in the junior class in the state of Texas. Really big when you can pull him out of that state.
Definitely. I think the only problem Van Horn has is the MLB draft. You know, I think that's the only person, or I should say organization outside of the SEC that can really come poach kids away from Arkansas is the MLB. I think when you look at the type of kids that Van Horn goes to recruits, they're definitely draft picks, lottery picks in the MLB draft. So, you know, I think that's a good thing to have when you have those caliber of kids that have the option to either come to Arkansas or go pro. So I think that's a good thing.
Well, we're going to take a quick break. Be back in a few with another on our Commitment Friday. J.J. Hollingsworth, he's the first in the pit crew 2022. No, it's our time 2022. It's somebody's time, but it's always on hog time. We'll be back. It's On the Hill with Pat Jenkins on KDSJ 479. Back in a sec.
Yeah, Hunter, I was just wondering if something does happen to the games like Nevada or Charleston Southern, ULM, do you have a short list of possible like replacements for those games? And would Arkansas State possibly be under?
But I tell you, I think if we lose those games, that'll probably be the result of having a conference-only schedule. And so I don't see Arkansas State or anybody else outside of the teams that are currently on our schedule from a non-conference standpoint that we compete against them. But that's as we sit here today. Everything changes, but I think if we lose any of those games, you'll see that that'll be a conference as a result of a conference-only schedule.
All right, thanks, Hunter.
Matt Jones.
Hunter, you were asked about the Texas A&M game in Arlington a little bit earlier. Got the Missouri game in Kansas City. Have there been discussions on the conference level pertaining to those games that are, technically home games, but that are being played off campuses? Has there been any discussion maybe trying to localize your games to the SEC campuses?
Not other than obviously Texas A&M's desire, having already lost a home game, not to lose another home game. I think in talking to Missouri's AD, they still if it's played in Arrowhead Stadium. You still there?
Still here. Yeah, sorry, my line was muted again. Hunter, this is the first chance we've had a chance to talk to you since the lawsuit against the Razorback Foundation was filed. In that lawsuit, Brett Bielema's attorney quoted appeared to be the driving force behind the foundation's decision to stop making those buyout payments. I wonder what your reaction is to being named in the lawsuit, and did you have any involvement in the Razorback Foundation stopping those payments to Bielema last year?
Matt, this was a matter that predates me. I mean, Coach Bielema was terminated before I arrived. The foundation had already started to negotiate his release agreement as I was arriving and trying to onboard a new football coach. Of course, I've had conversations with Scott Verity and the Razorback Foundation, but this is a contract that was executed by the Razorback Foundation. It was guaranteed by the Razorback Foundation. The buyout was negotiated by the Razorback Foundation. This is 100% a Razorback Athletic Foundation decision. I support the Razorback Foundation, absolutely, but for someone to accuse me of being the driving force behind that and they're not really paying attention to the timing of my arrival to our campus.
Brandon Marcello, you got anything? Good? All right, let's get our start working our way back around here. If you've got something that I didn't get to you, why don't you drop something in the chat to me? And more questions? Redundant questions?
Yeah, Hunter. Can you hear me? Okay. I actually had a basketball question. Eric obviously made a major hire with David Patrick. I'm sure you were involved in that process.
Welcome back to the Friday edition of On the Hill with Pat Jenkins Sports Talk Radio here on KDSJ 479. And it's Commitment Friday. We're going to focus on the 22 class as our last guest, 2022 shortstop out of Braswell, Texas. Jason Jones has committed to Dave Van Horn and the Razorback baseball team. Well, the first one in the our time class of 2022. He's aboard, and he's out of Greenland High School, and we're going to bring the big fella on to talk about it. J.J. Hollingsworth. J.J., welcome to OTH, my man. Maybe not as good. It's good, but maybe not as good as you right now, JJ. Talk about just the excitement of getting the Arkansas offer and just a little over a week finally deciding to be the first one to say Woo Pixel in that 2022 class. How big is that for you?
It was pretty big. You know, my family, they've been super supportive. They're super happy. And I mean, it wasn't really, you know, I've talked to Coach Dearman a bunch, talked to Les Miles a bunch, and, you know, it was I wouldn't say it was a hard decision. I wouldn't say it was an easy decision, but it was, you know, it was one I've been waiting for a long time. So it's pretty exciting, you know, just ready to put on that Hog jersey.
Talk about that. You know, you said we spoke earlier, and just getting it from Coach Sam Pittman, having watched the NFL draft just a few months back, and to see the first two first round picks that come off that Georgia board were Coach Pittman guys. With Coach Pittman having so much success being an offensive line coach, now the head coach, JJ, talk about, you know, how big was that to have a former offensive line coach who's the head coach now making you a very, very high priority, and he's had so much success with developing linemen in college.
Yes, sir. It was, you know, it was great getting to talk to him, you know, and I mean, Arkansas, we're blessed to have him. I mean, he's a great coach. He's a great, like you said, a great offensive line coach. So it was really nice, you know, going there and knowing I'm going to develop with Coach Vaughn and him. And, you know, it's just great getting to talk to him, knowing that, like, somebody like him who sent guys to the league, you know, just getting to talk to him, like face to face. I mean, or not face to face, on the phone. And just, it was just a great feeling, you know.
People look at, you know, the high school that you play at. You know, just talk about how important that is to be able to put a school such as Greenland High School on the map, and maybe open up the doors for maybe not someone to go to Arkansas, but more colleges at all levels to come into that school and realize that there is football talent. Talk about, you know, being able to start that platform.
Oh yeah, it's amazing. You know, I mean, there's guys in the past that could have played for sure, but I mean, you know, we're right down the road from a big Power 5 school, so I mean, it'll open up a lot of doors, you know, for my teammates right on the team right now for sure next year. I know they'll get out there and they'll show what they can do, and a lot of schools will start looking at them. Hopefully, I'll get my quarterback. You know, he's been working just as hard as me, if not harder, you know, trying to get offers and stuff. So, I mean, I think he'll get some. Maybe not. He'll definitely get D2 or D1 attention this year.
Now, when you sat down with Coach Larkin, your head coach, and the defensive staff following your sophomore season, JJ, and you looked at that tape, what was it that you really liked about your game, and what was it that you made a note here in the offseason to work on so that it can be even more improved going into your junior year?
Well, this season, I didn't have as much film. I feel like I had enough film, but I didn't feel like I had enough stats and stuff this year, just because I had a couple injuries and stuff that I wouldn't say disabled, but kind of took me away from where I wanted to be. I mean, this year I played a lot of defensive, I played a lot of nose guard and stuff, so it was a little bit different than what I normally play, but, you know, they put me in the best position to help the team, and it all worked out in the long run. Oh, I mean, J.J. Watt. That's one guy I've looked up to since I was itty bitty. I mean, he's a freak athlete. He's fast, and I mean also Reggie White. You know, just because he's a huge Christian guy. I mean, he's got a lot of great moves, and you know, he's a great guy to learn from and stuff.
I come out to Greenland. I got popcorn. I buy my soda pop. Ball's kicked off, JJ. Tell me what type of player will I see for 4 quarters in Big JJ Hollingsworth?
I mean, you'll see everything that you want to see. I mean, I'm going to give everything I've got, and I mean, I hope I meet everybody's expectation this season. But I mean, the most important part is just that we get out there and win every game we can and get as far in the playoffs as we can. Hopefully, get that up. conference champs and state championship ring.
Now, all athletes have a something that they like to eat. All football players, really. I had hamburger, and I always had to get the root beer float. JJ, what's the Thursday night meal that you have to have before every game on Friday night?
I mean, I don't really have like a go-to meal. Just whatever my mom cooks.
Whatever's on the table is getting it, huh?
Yes, sir.
Now we're riding around Northwest Arkansas, me and you. First 5
Yes,
songs
sir.
on the playlist, JJ. Shoot them at me.
First 5 songs on the playlist. So I'm a country music type of guy, but I listen to a little bit of everything. So I'm gonna start it off with Luke Combs.
Okay.
I couldn't really give you 5 songs, but Luke Combs would definitely be up there.
All right. Hey, you can say Luke Combs all 585 of his. That'll work. That's definitely passable. All right.
Yes, sir.
Well, JJ, I'm gonna make a statement, and once again, I want to thank you for taking time out, and wish congratulations on your big time decision to be the first in the 2022 class for Coach Pittman. But when football is done with, for J.J. Hollingsworth of Greenland, Arkansas, Greenland High School, he's went on to play Power 5 football and hopefully realize the dream of playing in the NFL. But then that day comes, and the ball goes flat, the shoes, the pads, shoulder pads, and helmet, they all get put in the locker. What's life going to be like for J.J. Hollingsworth after football of Greenland, Arkansas, Greenland High School?
Well, I still got a while to think about it, but one of my biggest things has always been I want to come back, and I don't know if I want to coach high school football, just because I want to show kids, young like my little brother. I want to teach them right from the start.
Right.
So maybe coach like a youth football team and open up my own gym or something like that. I kind of want to get like a business major in college and open up like a gym or just whatever I can think of.
That's awesome.
Whenever the time comes.
Well, being as for someone that grew up around there, I'm very proud that you were able to realize the dream of playing at the University of Arkansas, being a local kid, and really look forward to covering you over the next, I think, 3 years, no more than 4. But however long I get to cover you, JJ, I'm really going to be excited to watch you don that Razorback uniform. But, hey, my man, good luck. Hey, also, too, this ain't the last time. Our line is your line. Our show is your show. We're going to get some J.J. Hollingsworth updates throughout the football season, right?
Yes, sir.
Well, hey, man, you have a blessed weekend. Tell Mom and Dad I said
you too.
I'm happy for them, and you take time. And thanks for taking time out on the hill.
Thank you. Go Hawks.
That was J.J. Hollingsworth, the big 6'4", 240-pound. First one in the R-Time 22 class. That's class of 22 we keep talking about, Demetrius, 6'4", 240. And they're going to get bigger in that class. You mark my word, they're going to get a lot bigger. And there's more to come in the state of Arkansas that's going to jump on that boat as well.
All I can say is keep spinning that record. Sam Pittman's he's playing the right tune right now. He's getting a lot of kids excited about the University of Arkansas. I think if we do happen to have a football season,
we're playing football. We're playing. It may not be on the foot. We're going to play some football.
Or let me rephrase that. Whatever capacity of football we have, I think the younger generation kids are going to really be excited about the product put on the field for the University of Arkansas.
Going forward, just excitement all up and down Razorback Road. A lot of young teams, a lot of great recruiting that's taking place from all the coaches on that in their respective programs, and it's just, I've always said it, and if you followed our show for years, you've always heard me say that the time will come, Arkansas athletics will go on a very unprecedented run of success, and I think it's drawing real near. The coaching staffs that they have in place, you have to feel good about it if you're a Razorback fan. I know if you're Hunter Yurachek, you feel really, really good about the future going forward under the leadership of the young men and women that you've bestowed the honor of being the head coaches at the University of Arkansas. But we want to give a shout-out to our guests, as it was Commitment Friday in the 22 class. There's just something about the 2022s, Demetrius. We always seem to have them on the Hall, guys. But we want to give a thank you and a shout out to Jason Jones, the 2022 7th-ranked player in his class. He said he's going to be a Razorback, and he's out of Braswell, Texas, Braswell High School. I want to thank him for coming on. And J.J. Hollingsworth, he's another 22. He's the first in the R-Time class for Coach Pittman here in Fayetteville. He's out of Greenland, Arkansas. Greenland High School. Want to thank him for coming on. And also, too, want to let everyone know all beats that you hear on our show are made and produced, cooked up by Sauced Up Entertainment LLC. Check them out. Go to their YouTube page. That's Sauced Up Entertainment LLC, and just see what those guys have in store as far as beats. Might be able to make a song. I can make a song out of them. I know if I can, you can. But we also want to give a thank you to our sponsors, as this would not be possible any week to bring this show to you all Monday through Friday. With that being said, Lindsay and Associates, with an office location in Fayetteville, an office location also too in Rogers. Locomotion, they're located just below the Northwest Arkansas Mall in Fayetteville. Corey Beck's Custom Painting, and the one we always talk about, KDK's Chicken. They're down at 989 South Razorback Road. Meet us there or beat us there. They say it's not your mama's. We say it's the best chicken and waffles in the South. That's KDK's Chicken at 989 South Razorback Road. For my producer and myself, it's been a great week. Thanks for all the questions, all the viewership. Continue on. We'll be back next week with much, much more, but we're going to finish it out. You guys have a blessed weekend, and we'll see you on Monday. It's On the Hill with Pat Jenkins on KDSJ 479. Y'all, you know what the words got to be. Y'all have a blessed one. Let's get it.
Baby God.